Hello, I just want to say I've been talking with several friends recently, and on the making of the Ring of Gyges film um, that's on YouTube, I used Taiwanese software to make most of the cartoon elements. Oh dear, the computer's got a problem with keeping up with my mouth. Um, yes, I mean, one of the things about the film The Ring of Gyges is that in the beginning I called the main subject of the film, I won't say hero because I don't think he is necessarily a hero, Parson, not Carson. And the software, or the recording software that I was using, kept insisting that it was Carson. And I tried several times to correct it and tell them it definitely was Parson. But they wouldn't render it as Parson and chose to render it as Carson, which was very unfortunate because I had a Facebook friend at the time. I hadn't realised even that it might be offensive. I'd forgotten. I had, he was quite an involved friend in some respects. Um, I don't flirt with my Facebook friends. That's not the reason why I have some male friends. But I hadn't realised it might be offensive to him when they changed it to Carson. But it really wasn't Carson anyway, it was Parson. Now, the reason it was Parson was because I wanted to highlight the hypocrisy of the film, but it was also to do with the fact that a long time ago, when most of the clergy were going to Oxford and Cambridge to study, the upper classes and those who could afford to, and who were brought up with maybe libraries in their houses or something like that, and with governors and private tutors, they would have gone to Oxford and Cambridge and to study, to be able to lecture and become members of the upper clergy, and to be able to rule over people somewhat. Now, but those same members of the clergy, or to be members of the clergy, would have probably been taught classics. So they would have learnt maybe even something as awful as Ovid's Metamorphoses, which is, although it's been poetically translated many times into lovely English in some respects, I'm afraid that it is about obscene rape, most of it, and an excuse making for it, perhaps, in that Daphne, when she was raped, would turn into a tree or something. It may be, it was obscene that it concentrated on rape. All of Ovid's writings aren't obscene. I like some of Ovid's writings, but the Metamorphoses was particularly terrible. And they would have learnt about Juno and Zeus interfering with people, having love affairs all over the place. That the females, although females couldn't vote in ancient Greece, the female gods were acknowledged as having some powers of choice. Juno definitely was, and Athena too. But we see in, for example, Milton, how he proves, in fact, that he probably studied classics at Oxford or Cambridge. I've forgotten which one he went to. I think he went to Oxford. Oh, I'm not sure actually. But he shows us that he studied classics. Lycidas is full of references to the classics, and his main output, Paradise Lost, was meant to be, in some respects, putting the Christian faith and the Jewish Bible and the Christian story into a form which he would hope would be as epic as the Odysseus, the Odyssey, the Odyssey of Homer would have been. Now, whether it works or not, I don't know. Maybe Milton was commissioned to do that. But the clergy would have been, it may have been to absolve them of a sense of terrible responsibility, because they would know that what they were passing on was, to an extent, still meant to control the population somewhat. Now, Milton was in the framework a little bit of Martin Luther. I believe he was a free thinker at times. The course of a lifetime, people change over a lifetime. Sometimes he was close to people in authority, and at other times he was a rebel, or said to be, somewhat. I'll leave it there for now.